Hello, YouTube. Well, the wall turned out pretty good. Need to get those grease stains off the door. It's one of those things, man. I like my office. I like my barber's chair. I had to plug in my tablet. Fixing to go dead, but I don't know. Let me change views. There, that's better. Well, I've just been real busy here lately. Lighting kind of sucks. I don't know, man. Just it's one of those things, you know what I'm saying? I've just been through a lot here lately, man. I got good news and bad news and mixed feelings and mixed thoughts, and I finally had one of the inspectors come over here. Might as well pull up a chair. I guess this is going to be a vlog. And then at the end of the video, I'll go out there and show you what's coming up next. But I got my shop passed, man. They come in here and asked me, you know, what I'm going to be doing. I said, you know, details, minor repairs, you know, just, you know, make readies for cars that come in. You know, I got people that are buying and selling cars. I don't want to do really nothing major in here. Maybe a couple of oil changes here and there. Can't have no sitting oil around here. Chemicals have got to be put away. You know, dispose of oil. You know, they explained to me all that stuff. If you're going to do a little oil changes, you got to dispose of your oil properly. And as long as I just put it back in the container and take it back up to AutoZone or wherever and return the oil, then that's fine. That's the good news. They told me when they walked in here that they really didn't like they really didn't too much want to approve me at first because of the subleasing situation. You know, I'm not the sole owner. I'm not the original person that leases this building. I'm subleasing this building, and I'm only leasing the front part and this office here. And the guy looked around, he walked out back. He said, "What are all these cars doing here parked on the grass?" Because this area, I know if y'all been watching the channel, it is completely full of cars, you know. And so I'm going to try to be thorough and try to not lose chain of thought. I hope I can get it all down and out there to you. And absence from my YouTube channel is it's going to, you know, it's just one of those things where I don't like to not make videos, but I don't want to make stupid videos. You know, the last two videos I guess were really stupid. I only got one comment on the last two videos. And I believe it's Captain, my memory, you know what I'm saying? Captain, excuse me for not remembering your name, man, but I think it's Captain Rob or Captain Bob. I guess that's what happens when you get old. Can't remember too much of anything with my ADD, but let's start from the beginning, you know. Whenever I was learning from a guy next door that had a body shop opened. My buddy Lou had his truck in the shop. I think he was part of the reason why, and one of his friends as well, Mr. Cooley, he got me a job over there at the body shop, and more or less, basically, I wasn't hardly making, you know, nickels, dimes, and pennies over there, but I appreciated the fact that I was learning things. I learned how to, you know, apply base coat, clear coat. I learned a lot of different things with these newer model cars. Back in the day, whenever I was 21, 22 years old, I worked at a body shop, and that was, you know, right about the time cars started doing the plastic stuff, you know what I'm saying? And now cars have really gotten a lot of plastic in them, so I had to learn a lot of different things on how they snap together, and just it's a totally different animal working on classic restoration cars that are all metal mostly, and then Tupperware cars is what I call them. But I didn't, you know, I started getting, you know, disappointed over there working next door, you know. The not making too much money thing didn't bother me. I just look at it this way. You know, to learn the things that I was learning, you know, sometimes, you know, people have to go to school to learn the things that I was learning. So, you know, I just looked on the, you know, looked at the positive side of things and kept learning and learning and learning. And then finally, when I learned enough to you know, basically go on my own and start taking jobs in, kept seeing unhappy customers come into the body shop next door. It seemed like every time I turn around, man, the employees were unhappy over there because they wasn't getting paid for the work they were doing. And my mentor, he's got talent, awesome talent, you know what I'm saying? And he lost his daughter. His daughter, you know, had a heart attack, you know, and died. And she wasn't but, I think, 27 years old, you know. And when somebody loses their child, you know, you kind of I have a soft spot in my heart for him, you know. But at the same time, whenever you get customers that are coming around and coming around and coming around, and you can't, you know, he wasn't keeping employees that were wanting to stay because, you know, nothing was getting done, you know. It was just very confusing and a stressful situation, you know. And so the guy at the body shop, you know, I asked him about this place over here. What's this place over here doing? He said, well, it's somebody that I know that rents the body shop, or no, that rents that shop over there, but he really too much don't do nothing but store cars over there, and I store my cars over there as well. And I said, well, you know, I noticed that the inside of the building ain't being used at all. He says, why? You want to rent it? You want me to talk to the guy for you? And I said, yeah, I'd like that, you know. I'd like to go over there. And the main reason why I wanted to come over here was because I got tired of just negative energy at the body shop, you know. And just, I hated seeing customers that were unhappy, and I hated seeing the employees that worked there unhappy. And it was just a big old, look at him, what is he doing? And customers, where's he at? I don't know where he's at, you know. It's like, it's just a confusing situation. So I was very happy that I got to come over here, and I worked real hard to get the place, you know, fixed up, painted in this office here, and put a floor down, and put me in a comfortable place in here. And Big Lou, my best friend, you know, we was happy over here, you know. Things were going really good. And then the body shop started closing down over there next door because the rent wasn't getting paid over there, you know. So I hated to see that happen to the guy, you know. And I still feel really bad for him, you know, because he's just one of those things. I try not to judge people unless I put myself in their shoes, and I can't imagine if I lost my son or my daughter, what I would do, you know. I'd probably fall off on the deep end. I don't know if I would or not, you know. I can't say what would happen, you know. So I don't try to kick somebody when they're already down, you know. I just was staying out of the situation and everything. And I know I'm babbling on, but you know, I'm just trying to shoot this video out there to y'all and let y'all know that this is the reason why I haven't been shooting any videos here lately. It's because of stress. You know, things are looking good. You know, I got approved. I still got the fire marshal to come over here, but that's no big deal. I talked to the fire marshal. I got to get a fire extinguisher over here and get You know, no exposed wires, plates on the, you know, wall, you know, have the breaker panel, you know, just get it up to code. I don't got to go into the details, but get it up to code. And it's almost there, and the fire marshal's going to come and gack, and I'm going to get finally approved for that. But I will tell you this, that back to what I was saying, the first inspector that come over here, they got to approve you and look at the land. He asked me about the cars on the land, and I said, well, I'm just doing the front half of this building and this office. And he says, well, normally most of the time we're going to have to inspect the whole premises and, you know, make the judgment for you to move these cars over here. And about that time, my son walked around the corner, and he says, who's this? I said, this is my son. This is what we want to do over here. And he said to me, he says, well, I tell you what, man, I'm not even going to do my part to inspect the building and the premises over here, because, you know, if I did go back there and start poking around and poke around in the back part of the building and all this and the other, you wouldn't get approved for your business. He says, but seeing as how you and your son is, I envy that. You and your son are working together. And, you know, I told him a little bit about my past and how I struggled with addiction for years and this, that, and the other. I share all that with him because I share it with everybody openly. You know, if somebody asks me about this, that, and the other, I'm just that kind of a person, you know, because, you know, I kind of look, my teeth are all rotted out. I got to have an explanation, you know. I feel I deserve, I don't know, maybe I shouldn't do that. Maybe I shouldn't be so openly with my recovery and recovering from addiction, you know. But at the same time, it keeps all the people away from me that are going through their addictions at the time, keep me out of it, you know. They don't want to hang around and you know, because I've, you know, quite a few people over at the body shop next door, you know, it's don't want to get into that. So anyway, so the inspector told me I'm going to go ahead and approve you. I'm not even going to inspect the building, you know. Let the fire marshal come in here. You've gotten approved for what, for my part. He shook my hand. He says, good luck to you, sir. I hope it works out. So I got a break, you know what I'm saying? Because if they would have, you know, followed the inspection to the letter, I would have no way have gotten approved for this, because all the cars that are around here are from the body shop next door. And I know this is a long story, but this is it's just a vlog, you know, on this video, and been depressed a lot here lately. So anyway, the guy that was renting the shop next door and owned the body shop next door, he didn't have a place to go. He was basically getting booted, you know. The person that owned the shop next door said he had had enough on the slow pay, you know, the slow payment on the rent, and basically it looked like a bomb went off in the place. All this clutter everywhere and cars piled up, and you know, and the city was on the owner's butt, you know, telling him that he needed to get on the ball and clean this place up over here, because, you know, just trash everywhere, you know. And so when I come over here, you know, I'm not the cleanest person in the world, but at least I would clean up after every job and take one job at a time. So because that guy got me in this door, I still respect him, but this is what really ticked me off here lately. My old boss over there, he's the one that got me in here, because he knows the guy that's renting this place. And he said, after the shop got closed down over there, he asked the guy, hey, what are you doing with the stuff back here in the back? And I tried to rent the whole place, the back part of the building as well, but he didn't want to do it. He said he wanted that for his own personal, you know, hobby place back there. And I had to fight real hard to get the water on here. I had to come up with a lot of money. I had to, you know, go do side jobs for my landlady that I'm renting my house from. You know, she's a real estate. She's the property manager. She's been giving me side jobs to go here and there and do, you know, small little things like the light don't work, the switch don't work, there's a leak under the sink, stuff like that. And so I ended up getting enough money up to pay the inspection, $450, and then the water deposit, $400, and just now got the place to where it's completely running, you know. And then the guy that owned the body shop next door closed his door, or had to force to close it. They forced him to close his doors. He was getting evicted, in other words. So then he asked my landlord, his friend, hey, can I come over there and rent that bay in the back from you? Y'all, if y'all been watching the channel, you know it's a a big, large tin metal building area. It's not as it's a metal, no insulation, nothing, you know. And it's just a lot bigger area. So he talked my landlord into, and his friend as well, into letting him come over here. And so now I'm going to have all these unhappy, you know, and I even had jobs lined out. You know, the people that used to work for my old boss, they left, you know. And then I even inherited a contract. I asked my old boss, hey, can I have the contract with this guy here? He said he don't pay too well. I said, well, you got 6 or 8 cars over here that you hadn't been working on. He says, well, he says, I just, you know, and whatever he would tell me. He says, it just doesn't pay too well, you know. Or they just got crosswired. Let's just put it that way, you know. So he says, you can have him if you want him. And he's a guy that owns a car, you know, he owns a car lot. He's got a dealer's license, and he buys and sells cars, and they were piling up over at his shop, and none of them were getting done, so he got upset with him, and he was going to take his cars out of that body shop next door and go take them to somebody else. And I eat breakfast with the guy every morning. I go down to Whataburger, and I talk to him. He says, you want to do some of my cars? I said, yeah. He says, well, I don't want to cause no friction between all of us. Ask your boss, and that's the time that I was over there at the shop. Ask your boss if it's okay if you start doing cars for me, so there don't be a bunch of hard feelings and betrayals and all this other. And I said, okay. I asked the boss when I was working over there if I could do that, and then when I moved over here, I started moving some of his cars and coming over here and doing little jobs, and I've been kicking the cars out, you know, except for the major hail damage cars that I really don't want to take on. They're sitting over here now, you know, and I'm trying to subcontract the cars out to his old employees over there, you know. And I had them all lined out and everything, and the doors are getting closed over there. And now my old boss comes over here after he cuts a deal with my landlord to work back there and do cars. He's got all the cars out here piled in. He's only one guy that's he took in all these cars, took money in. He's got to either finish them or give the money back for them. You know what I'm saying? So he's got like 20 or 30 cars around here, and on my side of this side over here was basically an open lot that I had moved cars from over there over to here. And I had them parked out here, and I was knocking them down, except for, you know, 2 of them that's hail damaged really, really bad. And I had a subcontract deal with some of his own employees to come over here at my shop and fix those cars. Well, now that the guys come over here and rented this place in the back, the employees said, I don't want to be around the guy. You know, we've got bad vibes. And so now they don't want to come around because my old boss, which they used to work for, is here, and they don't want no conflict. They don't want negativity, you know. So they ran off, you know. They said, I can't work over there with you. If he's going to be back there in your back of your shop, then I don't want to be there with you. It's basically what's going on, you know. They don't want no confrontations. So now I'm by myself, me and my son. And he comes over here and he tells me, you need to move these cars out of the way so I can move more cars for next door because I'm getting shut down over there. I need a place to park your cars. So the guy that I gave you the guy that I gave you, my customer that I gave you, he's going to have to get his cars out of here. And I'm going like, that's my customer now, and I have to have a place to put his cars. And so he talks to my landlord into telling me that I can't have the cars over here or do jobs for him. And I basically threw a fit. I said, that's bullcrap, you know. I've worked hard to get all this together. I've worked hard to get the water turned on over here. I've got everything else turned on over here, and I pay my rent on time. And now you're coming over here telling me what to do in my own shop. And you're wanting to take away my place to park cars to get them ready to do over here. You know, because it's hard to do one car at a time. Sometimes you got to, you know, order the parts, wait for them to come in. Or you finish one and they also park them out front, and I move them in and out every day. He's got another guy that comes over here and pulls them out front. I got, you know, and he's Big Lou, he details the cars. So we're just like a group of people over here that were close-knit family kind of people. And we were all doing good until my old boss comes back over here and starts pushing his weight around and talking to his friend, which is my landlord. So, complicated situation. I know it's hard to follow here, but this is why I really hadn't been making a video here lately. I've been in a bad mood and depressed, and so I moved the cars out and talked to my landlord and said, how am I supposed to make money over here if you're telling me I can't put cars over here? He says, because I was his friend before I met you. Because you're the reason, he is the reason why you're in the shop over here. He's the reason why you got a break over here. He's the reason why you got that customer. And he doesn't particularly want to see all those cars around here. He needs a place to put more cars from other customers he's taking money from over there. And I don't want to turn my back on him. I mean, back in the day, they've been friends for 10 years, you know. They've been kicking it over here. They've been kicking over that body shop for 10 years. You know, the guy that I'm doing the cars for now, he said he used to kick him out real good for him. And then all of a sudden he quit after his daughter died. And it's because he can't put down that bottle, man. Nothing's getting done because he's drinking excessively. I'm not saying there is anything wrong with drinking, as long as you even it out. You know, too much drinking is too bad for you. Too much smoking. You know, my own mother told me that when I was growing up. If you're too much of one thing is a bad thing, whether it's eating, drinking, smoking, running.
What's going on over here?
Oh, you scared the hell out of me, Lou.
Holy shit.
I'm shooting a video, Lou.
I'm looking for Wade, he's not here?
No.
Go ahead, bro, I'm sorry.
It's alright, I can cut it back on later. I'll cut it back on and finish the story later.
No, that's fine, go ahead.
No, because you're here, man. It's hard to get you up here. Turn the camera off. Why not just leave it on? No, Wayne came over here to get the Ford Ranger and get it going. I got the motor mounts in it replaced. We got the...
What's going on, folks?
This is my best friend, Lou, man. I'm telling you. It's because of him I have the patience to carry on over here. But anyway, yes, the Ford Ranger had the motor mounts replaced. The horn pad, they decided to go ahead and just leave the airbag out on it, tape it up. They don't think it's going to be worth going through all the... I don't know what they're going to do to it. I did my part and did the motor mounts, and I don't know what but anyway, they're going to go get it inspected. I got the hazard lights working on it and everything. I'm fixing to start on Mark's Cobalt out here. He's got, as you can see, he's got the bumper cover, the fender.
Horn deal.
Oh yeah, on the Ford Ranger? Yeah, I'll put the old one back in.
And it works. The horn.
Yeah, the horn works. Yeah. So it's honking and the hazards are working now.
So, except for the heater.
Yeah, except for the well, yeah, the fan motor don't work on it. Babies, he was a sweet puppy. So what's going on, bro?
I just I had to call my investors, and I sold 20 shares, but I make 60 shares on Wednesday. I won't make 60 shares.
60 shares on your oh yeah, you're on that what do you call it?
401k.
401k, but you got your you invested in stock, right?
Right.
Oh, and so you're gonna start getting some more on that one, huh? That's good. That's good.
I'll be making the same money, you know, but you know it's gonna create more money to my account.
Money to your account. That's good, man.
So, you know, hopefully it'll last me until I'm 80 years old. If I make that far. You know, either that or Sancho's gonna take over.
Anyway, I just explained to him. I was just explaining to him the shit show that was going on around here, and all the crap going on with all the body shop closing next door. Even Lou himself had a truck over there he had to come and get because it wasn't getting done. He finally said, "To hell with it, no hard feelings. I want my truck back." And maybe we can get your truck done too. Oh, you need a loader? I think the loader's I think I don't got the loader. I think it's out there on that shelf. Anyway, long story short, that's what's happening.
Hey, how you doing?
I got a customer coming in here, man. We'll finish this story later, okay? Anyway, that was a customer out there. He wanted to buy my Kragers. I can't get rid of those Kragers. That's part of what makes that truck what it is, man. Anyway, here's what we're looking at now. Different car dealer, good friend of mine. Needs the bumper cover replaced, needs the headlight replaced. He's got the new parts sitting here. A new battery. And a new headlight and a new fender. And new paint. So we're going to have to get cracking on this thing, get it back together for him. It ought to be easy enough. It don't look like it's got a lot of metallic in it. Yeah, it's got some metallic in it. But I do believe I can kick this one out and make it look nice. Whew. So what do you think we ought to do, Lou?
Get her done.
Just get her done, huh?
That's all there is to it.
It sure is, I don't know, it's just a lot to take in, man. I've already explained to him the whole situation with the guy that owned the body shop next door and your own truck didn't get done. I told him that, and you had to go get your truck out of there, and I think you paid him $1,000, man, and he still didn't get nothing done to it. The only thing that got done was what I did.
Exactly.
And at least I painted the underneath the hood and the fender wells for you. I'm proud of the work that I did on it. But
that's good.
I'm sorry that had to happen to you, man. And now the crap's coming over here, man. Now the shit show's gonna come over here. There's gonna be unhappy customers coming over here, Lou.
It's no bueno.
It's no bueno. I guess it's just one of those things, man. You got to give the dude a chance to redeem himself. That's what my landlord's trying to do, man. He's trying to give him another chance to fix the situation. But that sure is a lot of cars. You must have, what, 30 cars on this property now that came from next door?
Pretty much.
And he's only one person. It's going to take him, what, a whole 2-3 years to get the crap done.
For the rest of the year, for sure.
Yeah, the rest of the year.
You nobody's going to wait for a year. Everybody wants their shit done.
Yeah, and then they're going to be coming over here crying, complaining, and I guess you just got to, it's a depressing situation, Lee. It really is, man.
You can only go so far.
Just do me a favor and don't refrain from coming over here just because he's in the back of the shop, man. Just Lou's the kind of guy, he don't want to face nobody. When he's done with somebody, he's done with it, man. He's a one-time Charlie. When he leaves a bad situation, he wants to leave it and be done with it. Now he don't want to have to come over here and visit me and have to look at the dude in his face. He's the kind of guy he has a hard time holding his temper on something like that, especially when it comes to a lot of money in your truck, and then shoving his weight around over here, telling me what cars I can't and can work on. That's crap, man. I guess we just got to keep going. Sometimes I just wish I was my dog, Lou.
Yeah, me too.
He ain't got to worry about nothing but getting fed and let out to go to the bathroom and then a nice place to sleep at night. Don't have to worry about none of that. He just lives. I'm going to get off here and let y'all go. And sorry the last 2 videos were crap, man. I just hadn't been shooting videos here lately because of all this shit that's going on around here. And then all the crap that... Just a lot of things going on in the world right now with the shit show with Pelosi and Adam Schiff and the crap they're putting the... When I seen that girl taking those pens, Lou, and signing, did you see that one where she had all them pens lined out? I thought to myself, what she's doing is she's signing a declaration. She's signing the contract to cause a war between the Americans now.
She thinks he's going to run out of ink. She's going to use about 100 pens.
Yeah, it looked like a little kid. It looked like a little kid doing the Crayolas, huh? That's
Oh, shit. Oh, my God.
One pen at a time. I don't even think her signature was that damn long, man. She must have to do a half a letter at a time with all them damn pens she had laying out there. I've never gotten involved with politics, man, until here recently, man. Watching the crap that's going on and dealing with that, I don't know why I'm addicted to it now. I didn't used to care. I just got up and did my thing and didn't.
I just hope Trump will get reelected, man. Just leave the poor guy alone and let him do his job. It's like anything else.
I can't say he is. I can't say this. You know, I don't understand why the Democrats are upset with him because he don't sugarcoat nothing.
Hell no.
He's all about results and getting crap done, and
Tell it like it is.
yeah, he says it like it is. He ain't sugarcoating nothing. And then I try to stay off the channel with a bunch of politics, but it just seems like he's getting a lot done. Everything is going good for our country now, and I'm real worried about the situation. If he gets kicked out of office, man, what the hell is going to happen to our country, man? I'm just afraid somebody else is going to get in here and try to change everything, especially if a Democratic gets in office. With the way things have been going, they're probably going to try to reverse everything he's done for the country just because he did it.
You don't want to take your Social Security away.
Yeah. Well, Tubeless.
You want to bring all the wetbacks too, you know.
Yeah, just one of those things, man. Yeah, I think the Democrats, what do they want? They just want you to open up the borders and let them all come over here and do it.
Here, whatever.
I didn't really used to pay attention.
And all that.
Yeah, I didn't really pay attention too much of that because, you know, if you try to build walls, they still find a way over here, man. But I guess it is getting. I guess it is what he's doing. It has to be working because our jobs are going up now. Or
got a lot of jobs back from elsewhere.
Yeah, they took a lot of jobs from over the foreign countries and told them that they have to put their businesses in the United States, and it's been opening a lot of jobs for the American people, and things are going real good. It's just
especially bringing the Ford Motor Company back. Yay!
Oh, was Ford doing something across the land?
Yeah.
They was
building the trucks up there.
They were building them over there and then bringing them back over here, huh?
Yeah. Damn skip.
So now he brought all the American jobs back over here and everything's great, and now it's just a shit show, man. And the taxpayers' money's having to pay for all this crap going on, man. They're spending more time fighting amongst themselves than they are getting along.
Yeah.
I'm not a Democratic nor a Republican, Lou. I just in the middle, bro.
Independent.
Is that what they call me? An independent kind of a person that just watches the... At first, I was just pulling up eating popcorn and watching the show, and now I'm getting worried. And all that on my mind, too, and all the crap that's going around here. And I think I'm in the same situation Trump's in, man. I start doing good things over here, and then somebody comes over here and tells me, oh, you can't work on that car over there, and I don't want his cars over here. And they're like, holy crap, man. You give me a customer and then tell me, okay, you come over here to my place after I get it all ready and fixed up and the water turned on and everything, and then tell me what I can do over here and talk the landlord that I rent from into siding with him. But the landlord told me it's okay, man. He said, just get rid of those two cars that you can't do the hell damage on and everything's going to be okay, man, and just keep going. And I can't really be enemies with the guy. He's, you know, it is what it is. You're just going to have to get along with him. I just hope you don't leave me here by myself. Just don't quit coming around.
Well, I'm here.
You're here? Well, he's not here right now. Anyway, if y'all think these videos are boring, man, just let me know in the comments below. Just the last two videos I shot, they must have been so terrible because I only got one comment of Captain Bob. He's the only one that left a comment in the last two videos. I guess because they were kind of crappy. I haven't really gotten serious about making videos. Just now got a new tablet with a good camera. It's just one of those things where sometimes in my past, man, it just I'm having to learn things a lot different now. You know, now that I'm recovering and a recovering addict, I have to be. Before I just do some stuff and it would make me numb to the things around me, and now I have to deal with it. Before I just.
Let it slide, huh?
I would just do some drugs and it would make me numb to where I wouldn't have to think about my problems.
Take it one day at a time.
Yeah, now I gotta just take it one day at a time and learn how to deal. I'm just having to learn how to deal with stress, and sometimes it's hard on me, man, because I don't like taking depression pills, man. Just
You need a bike.
yeah, I need a bike, Lou. Hey, you good news, man. You say you put some money down on a bike?
Yeah.
What is it?
It's 1997 Evo.
Evo. Springer frame on it.
Softail.
Softail. Oh, it's a Softail?
Hell yeah.
Anyway, he's put down the deposit on it from one of his relatives, and I think that's going to be my bike, man. I just got to keep moving and making money here and start making payments on it. He got me a foot in the door now, and I'm very grateful you did that for me, man. How you doing, Wayne?
What is this one doing? Am I on candid camera?
Yeah, you're on candid camera.
What's wrong with
That's one of our sales representatives, man. He sells them.
You're the next contestant of
What's
the
wrong
Price
with
is
it?
Right.
What's wrong with this
He
one?
sells the cars.
He said, it's poco loco.
I
Poco
fix them,
loco.
he sells them. Old Lou over here does the details, and he runs the numbers over here. Anyway, I'm going to get off here and get things rolling, and we'll catch y'all till next time. Let's try.
We're gonna have
Let's
a
pray
tooth-
that old Trump
We're gonna have a
still
toothless-
stays another 4 years.
toothless-
Old Trump, go for Trump. Don't go for Democrat.
Are you a Democrat?
Hell no. Even Toothless is smarter
The
than
country is fighting each other, man.
Hey,
If
are you a Democrat?
Democrat,
Says
they
no.
take over. They can open the gates, and they're all coming over here. And what's gonna happen? They come over here, and where's the money gonna come in? They gotta feed them and put them in storage buildings, maybe. Where that money's coming from? Your own tax money, brother.
Yeah, our taxpayers' money paid for those pins too.
Right.
Maybe that's why it took her so long, man, to turn the stuff into the House of Representatives, because she was waiting for the pins to get here.
Yeah. No shit.
Anyway, I'll see y'all later. Till next time. I'll cut the camera back on whenever this car's finished, I guess. See y'all later. Okay, YouTube. I've been at it for about, I'm saying, probably a couple hours at least, maybe 2.5 hours. But I wanted to help y'all out with one thing, you know. I don't know how many people watch my channel to learn from me, man, because I'm learning myself. You know, we can learn together. But the radiator is no good. As you can see, it's bananaed really bad. It leaks. So I had to get a new radiator. If you got, what do you mean if you got? It's always good to see that little valve right there. Before you start anything, let me say this. Before you start anything, always disconnect the battery, because this is why. I had to learn this from my mentor next door. I learned a lot from the guy, you know. Even all the crap that I've been through here recently with him, I still respect him. You know, no one's perfect. Everybody has their ways. You know, and sometimes people gotta go through some hard times to change. But let me see if I can find it. This right here is a sensor that deploys the airbags. And some of these sensors are so sensitive, even if you grab it and go to disconnect it, it will deploy the airbags. And that will open up a can of worms for you that you do not want to deal with. You don't want to deal with all the airbags or some of the airbags being blown out. Because take it from me, I've had to work on airbags and you just can't stuff them back in there. It breaks plastic. It pierces it busts the plastic open where they're supposed to deploy. You got to replace panels. If y'all have watched my channel, me and my son had to go through an extensive, really bad time of taking the whole dash out on I think it was a Hyundai Sonata. I believe that's what it was. We had to take the whole dash out just to get the airbag from behind the dash. I mean, from behind, right there by the glove box. The whole dash had to come out. And so then you got to get the modulator, the airbag module. You got to replace it, or you got to have it sent in and have it reset. You know, and it's just a lot of confusion there when you have something sent off, when you go to plug it back in. There's just a lot of things I don't want to go in with you on the airbag situation. But so certainly unplug your battery and leave it unplugged through this whole process, because you do not want to have to fix your screw up if those airbags deploy. That is most important before you get even started. Another thing is, when you check for your freon pressure, if you check the pressure on it, if it still holds pressure, this condenser right here, it's bananaed and it's kind of bent up a little bit. The owner said, you know, do the best you can with it if you can get it back together. Even if it's still bent underneath the, you know, even if it's still bent. As long as it's holding pressure and I can get the bolts back in it, we're going to see how it goes. So, you know, to keep you from having to recharge your system, do not take the bolts out right here, because that will discharge your Freon. And I know how to charge a unit. I know how to pump it down, put a vacuum on it, and then, recover the Freon, or just, you're letting all the Freon out of it, and then you're going to have to spend more time recharging your system. So, you be gentle with this, be gentle with your condenser coil, If you got an automatic transmission, most of these new models, they got compression. They got a pin that goes in there. And this is what it looks like. And this is what you remove it with. It's good to have, go down to Harbor Freight. These are not really critical to buy the professional Snap-on brand kind. These work just fine for me, because they're nothing much but a picking tool. And you get down in there and you pick, you see if I can get a good view on it. The clip lays right there. And while you're picking that out, it's always good to have you a magnet. It takes both hands, and you hold that magnet up in there, or just stick it on there somewhere to where it sticks to what you're working with. And that way when you pull that clip out, of there, out of this area right here, it'll go towards the magnet. Because if you drop that pin, that little clip, that keeper clip, you got to go directly to the auto parts store, and half the time they don't know which one you're talking about, because the people behind the counter, I've just had a bad experience with just going for clips. Then you got to go to a junkyard, find the clips. I don't know if anybody can give anybody a hand out there. If they do lose their clips, where do they go to get new ones? I've always, I don't know, maybe around here, you get people behind the counter and they don't know what you're talking about, or where it comes from, or what it's even called. They don't even know how to poke it in the computer. So then you got to go to a junkyard and spend all that time out there at the junkyard just to pull a clip out, and they're really hard to get to. You just can't go in there and pull it out. You got to take apart the bumper cover. You got to go through a lot of crap to get that clip. You know what I'm saying? But if y'all can give me some advice on that one, what are those clips called? Leave a comment below if you can help my fellow viewers out there. I don't even know what they're called. I just know it's a clip. And once you get the clip out, the transmission line will pop out. Everything else is self-explanatory. It's just a bunch of nuts, bolts, and keepers. I will tell you that if you're going to be doing your own work, you can just use a ratchet. I bought me an air ratchet a long time ago, because it makes it to where you can sneak this ratchet in there in areas that you can't normally get to Sometimes I like to use my DeWalt, but because that thing is so bulky, it's hard to get into tight places. The air ratchet is a much better tool to have. They do sell electric ones. I like my air ratchet as long as you take care of them and grease them. Mine's a Husky. I've had a couple of Harbor Freight air ratchets that were cheap. They didn't last long. The teeth, the gears in there will chip and break easily on the Harbor Freight tools. I do know that. Now, I don't know about nowadays, but back in the day when I bought one from Harbor Freight, it didn't last me 10, 15 minutes. And I went to go break a bolt loose, and it broke. And so I don't know if they guaranteed it or not. But if you do buy the cheap stuff from Harbor Freight, definitely bust all your bolts loose with a regular breakover bar or just a normal ratchet, and then put your air ratchet on there and back them out. Because if you use that air ratchet, you know, especially one that ain't a good one, it'll break the gears in there, and they got tiny little teeth on them. If you have a snap-on, go ahead. Balls to the wall, go ahead and take it care of, you know, because snap-on guaranteed stuff. But I've always just made a big habit, you know, of not wanting to break my tools, and use a ratchet to break your tools. They're made to take the bolts out. I don't think they're made to use it as a ratchet, you know, as to turn the bolts loose, break them loose. I guess I've covered everything up until now. Your bumper cover, it's got thousands of little clips on it. This particular kind of clips, let me see if I can find some up here for you. If I can find some. Let's see. There we go. These kind of clips are reusable. The center of them pops out. I went and bought me a bunch of I think I did go buy me a bunch of Harbor Freight tools that you pull those. They're little. Well, I wish I could find the tool, man. You know, that's why my videos suck so bad. Is because I don't ever prep my video. I don't ever prep for my video. It's probably laying somewhere in here. Oh well, but anyway, it's a. Oh well, dadgummit. I'm not going to sit here and waste everybody's time looking for a tool, but I don't know what they call that neither. I wish I could just show you the thing so you could go buy you a set at Harbor Freight. Take that back. I didn't buy those from Harbor Freight. I bought those from a paint and body supply place. And it was about $90, $125 for the whole set. It comes with it comes with a set. It pulls different size clips out. And it helps you save your clips, because if you use pliers and screwdrivers, sometimes it ruins them. I will tell you this, that I save all my clips. See if I can find one that now these kind of clips here, what did I just do? I dropped it. Dadgummit. Bear with me here. These kind of clips right here, pretty much they're a one-time thing, man. You push them in, but when I went to go pull these out, I've actually, you know, saved myself a lot of trouble, because it messes up those teeth right there when you pull them out. They go in real easy. They're real tight. They fit real tight in there. But I just went down to my local auto parts store and bought me a whole box of those. So if you do got those kind of, see what they're called. See, I don't even think they, shield retainers is what they're called. And those particular kind, most of the time they're a one-time Charlie. You can only use them one time. Sometimes it just depends, you know, but I would recommend getting a box of them if you got clips like that. But we'll just see how it goes. Cut the camera back on once I get all this put back together. But just be sure you be careful with this condensing coil. and try not to relieve the Freon on it. If you're working on a car that you can't get it work around it and you can't get that thing out of there, then yeah, you're going to have to discharge the Freon. But if you can work around it to where you don't have to discharge your Freon, it'll work out much better for you to where you don't have to spend more money on Freon and everything else. That one's kind of bent up. I think I'm going to be able to use it. I'm not going to try to push and bend on it too much. If I have to, I will. Because, you know, these things, you know, you go to pulling and trying to bend on them, man, it is what it is. You try to fix it and get it, at least get it in there to where you can get the bolts on it and reinstall it. But it's not going to be in the original condition. And this is a car lot guy, and he's just wanting to get it back together and do something decent so he can resell this car. I got a new fender. I'm probably going to have to get I don't know. This plastic liner's cracked in one area. I might be able to take another piece of plastic or a piece of sheet metal and mend that together and drill some holes and use a plate in there and put some pop rivets in it and save it. They're not that expensive, so if you're doing your own car, I think you know, if you get OEM fender liners, those are real good. The aftermarket fender liners, they don't fit perfect. They're thinner and they don't work very well. They flop around a lot. They'll even, you know, these are real thick plastic. The other ones that are aftermarket, if you get OEM parts, man, it makes it a lot easier. That way, when you put that fender liner in there, it stays. I've noticed that if one time I spent cheap money for, I think it was $15 a piece for the fender liners, and ended up regretting it because the customer came back on me and said, hey, these fender liners are coming loose and out. How come you didn't put them in there? I said, I did put them in there. She says, and I got up in there looking, the keepers were still in the fender wells, but because of that plastic is so thin, it slid right off my clips. So I had to end up going and getting other fender liners and putting in there and replacing them, which wasted my money instead of the customer's money. So that's just another word of advice and passing that on. Anyway, I'll cut the camera back on, and when I get to the next couple of steps of taking this fender off, and you know, we'll just talk about some more stuff when I get to that point. And that's exactly what I'm talking about. You couldn't get in there because that screw is angled this way. It had to have an air ratchet. That's why I like the air ratchets. Give me back my light, man. It's always important to check your parts when they deliver them. This wasn't delivered The owner went and picked it up. Look at that. And that. Dadgummit. I really wish you would have checked that a lot closer. Dadgummit. I can fix it, but dadgummit. Sorry, I had to get on the phone with the guy. Let's see. Here. 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 Let's see, where is it down there? It is. There. Dadgummit. Well, learn from this experience. Don't go trust your customer to go get your fender for you. Go get it yourself. I'd have been glad to go get it myself. Anyway, let me put this camera up until I... It's one of them stupid moments. It's one of them... It's one of them moments where you want to turn the camera around. It's one of them moments where you want to take the Olympic glasses and put them on. Look at that fender there. That's what you don't do. You don't let somebody go over there and touch your fenders and stuff. You got to feel up it yourself and look at it yourself, because they might think it looks fine because they used to, you know, maybe they ain't trained with the eye to look at your stuff for you. Dadgummit. So don't be like a limster. Dadgummit. Okay. Let's get on with it. Anyway, this bracket was bent a little bit. The condenser went in just fine. But I just wanted to make a suggestion to everybody that before you put the bumper cover and everything back on, make sure you hook up your hoses and your transmission lines and run it. Now he's headed over here tomorrow with the transmission, the radiator fluid to go in it. And then we're going to start it up and make sure it don't leak, because you don't want it to go in there and start leaking. Yeah, it all bolted up. Oh yeah, I almost forgot to tell you. These bolts right here, from experience, I've actually not paid attention and put long bolts right there. And if you'll see, it only lets you go so far before it's going to start drilling a hole in your radiator back there. The plastic part on your radiator, it only gives you so much. These are really short bolts. And if you're in a hurry and you ain't paying attention, and you stick a bolt like this in there, it's going to hit the radiator and drill a hole in it. I just thought I'd share that with y'all, because, you know, I just try to self-lesson learn there. That was another stupid limster moment. That was one of them stupid let's poke a hole in the radiator moments. Yeah. Anyway. Oh, one more thing. When you put your fender on, leave your bolts loose. Just leave your bolts loose to where you want to be able to move it around a little bit. Sometimes you got to twist these and pull this in and out to make that line up. But always leave the bottom. Let me see if I get the light for you. Oh, I ain't got 3 hands, so I'll try to do it. Let's see what happens. Look at all my shirts, huh? When you go to shut the door for the first time, no, it's not going to show it. You know, maybe it will. You go to shut the door for the first time, you leave this part loose. You leave it out. And then you slowly close your door. Because if you tighten that fender on there where it's not supposed to be tightened and you shut the door, and it's too close here, and it's too close right here, when you go to open that door, it'll grab that lip and it'll bend it. And you bring it on down, tighten it up. Anyway, I'll see y'all later. See y'all till tomorrow. I'm going to shut it down. Get my son to help me tomorrow. See y'all later. Limster out.